Hey guys, so in this video, we're going to cover the only front-end offers that will actually achieve scale in 2024. So this is for marketing agency owners, coaching and consulting businesses, high-ticket online service providers, and B2B companies, including B2B SaaS. And simply put, the way to achieve scale is to command premium pricing. So you absolutely cannot really scale a service-based business if you're charging, $500 a month, $1,000, $2,000 a month. The higher you charge, the quicker you'll be able to scale. And this really ties into the next. I have similar videos like this that cover more offer logistics and productization. So what you need really for scale is to match the high pricing power and premium pricing with productization. So this particular video is more about pricing and how to command premium pricing. And that is simply what's known as closing the entire gap for your clients. So it's no longer no longer optional to really just provide one service to your client, right? It's not, if you've got a target niche, you need to essentially take them from their current situation to their desired situation. And the strength of your service, how valuable your service is basically determined by your ability to help your client close that gap in the quickest time frame possible, in the most seamless fashion possible that requires the least effort on their part and the least amount of sacrifice on their part. Okay, so that's essentially what determines the value of any service-based business. Now, I'm going to tie this into market sophistication levels. So what used to work in 2015, 2020, even a couple of years ago, 2022, it's not really working anymore. And the simple reason is that all markets, particularly markets that are looking for digital marketing services, have sophisticated, meaning there are a lot more people out there trying to offer marketing services to the niche or the market that you're trying to serve, which means they have a ton more options, which means that they now have the luxury to shop around and say, okay, well, what's really the difference between this email marketing agency and that one? And this is essentially why you need to, if you really want to scale, you want to pinpoint your niche, right? This ties into something called vertical segment scaling, which I cover a lot, or will be covering a lot as well in my channel, which is the way that all service-based businesses scale to 8 figures and beyond. It's a pattern that they all follow. Is they pinpoint a specific market subsegment, so not just a vertical but a market subsegment, and rinse that segment out before pivoting to the next market and slowly increasing what we call their TAM, or total addressable market. And the way they do that and the way they cater essentially to in the best way possible to one specific niche is they do everything for that niche, right? So they don't try and do a bunch of different stuff for a bunch of different niches, because that adds a ton of operational complexity. What they do is they focus on one niche. So let's say you're targeting dental practices, and so if you think about in 2024, what does a dental practice really want? Well, they essentially want more. They want what all businesses want, which is to scale their practice, scale their business in the profitable manner in the fastest way possible. So your job as a premium dental marketing agency would literally be to help them bridge that gap in the fastest way possible. So instead of just providing leads or running ads, you need to take a full funnel approach and close the entire gap, right? So this has low pricing power. Sorry, my mouse is freezing a bit. This has low pricing power and this has high pricing power, right? So instead of just providing leads, you're providing closed deals, you're providing consulting around the entire aspect of what it takes to actually scale a dental practice, right? So you're helping them go from current situation to desired situation. And that's really the difference between charging, $500 a month for just some paid advertising, $1,000, $2,000 a month, versus actually charging for everything. So, helping them market themselves properly, offer differentiation, lead generation, appointment booking, sales. Now, the thing that I want to really point out is you might accurately say that, well, if we're doing all of these things on a done-for-you basis, isn't that going to lead to a ton of operational complexity? And you're right, that wouldn't be the way to go. which is why I will make and continue to make training on this, which is this thing around productization. The way you achieve leverage any service-based business is to introduce consulting or done with you work to your product suite. So you don't just do, so you do one or two main things that are completely on a done for you basis, but then you provide support to and package that into a premium service. So for example, all businesses struggle with closing deals and closing appointments. They don't just want leads, right? They want those leads converted. So for example, this is probably a good thing to do on a done for you basis, to place some kind of appointment setter, partner up with a call center to make sure those appointments are actually booked in. And then in terms of sales, you can provide sales consulting or partner up with a sales consulting company. You can partner up with sales rep, hiring, recruiting, training companies. You can do all sorts and then package that up and sell it as a product, which really is a hybrid between done for you and done with you work that gives you more leverage, that is hyper scalable, and helps your client or target market solve the entire gap, right? So this is what we call closing the gap. Now, the most famous example of this that a lot of you will have likely heard of is the gym launch example. This is by Alex Hormozi. In case anyone who doesn't know who Alex Hormozi is, he's now sort of an investor with well over a 9-figure net worth, and he will likely become a billionaire before the age of 40. And actually his first business was a gym marketing agency that he transitioned into more of a hybrid model, which is the model that I'm talking about, that he ended up selling to American Pacific Group for around $46 million. And it was actually $100 million in top line revenue that company was doing at that time. And this is the model essentially that he adopted to achieve leverage and scale. It's not this new fancy business model. It's been here since the dawn of time. I'm going to make another YouTube video actually probably right after this one, which breaks that whole thing down. So stay tuned for that. But essentially, firstly, what he did was he took he looked at what all local gym marketing agencies were doing. They were just providing leads to these gym owners and what that means is your service is going to be commoditized, right? Now, commoditization isn't a bad thing. It's just the nature of a service-based business, and you can still stand out by being very good at what you do and having a track record. But if you really want to scale, you need premium pricing, which means you bridge the entire gap. So what did Gym Launch do? They came in and they did the whole thing. The offer differentiation, the lead generation, appointments. They provided sales consulting. They provided also consulting on fulfillment. They went to the same gym owners who were sort of had a lot of resistance to pay $1,000 or $2,000 retainer, and they charged $15,000 up front to the exact same target market. The way they were able to do that was providing more value up front. Now, to be actually able to pull this off, you need an understanding of market sophistication levels. This is really, really important, because if you don't understand this, you will not be able to scale in 2024. The reason is the tactics that work now don't work. They used to work in 2015 through to 2020. They don't work anymore because the market is changing extremely rapidly, especially now with the advent of AI and how it's kind of taken the industry by storm. So what essentially are sophistication levels? It's basically how attuned the target market or your prospect is to the offer or the service that you're trying to deliver them, right? But in a long story short, it's stages 1 to 5, and pretty much all service-based businesses, particularly marketing agencies and consulting businesses, most consulting businesses, unless you have a really unique service, are at a stage 4 or 5 level of sophistication, which means you need to do more now. You need to do more than ever before to actually stand out and be able to scale predictably. So let's go through the stages now. So level 1, this is your blue market, blue ocean offer. You're the first to market. This is essentially the advent of social media marketing, right? Let's say it's 14, 15 years ago. There's an entrepreneur who runs one of the biggest podcasts now. It's called Diary of a CEO. He's a British entrepreneur called Stephen Bartlett, and the first company that he scaled and what kind of brought him sort of notoriety was essentially a digital marketing agency called Social Chain. He sold that for $300 million. It actually went public. Now, back then, this was a very novel concept, which is why they able to achieve they were able to achieve hyperscale and do so quite easily. But all they had to do with their marketing was, hey, we'll get your business up online. We'll give you a digital presence online. We'll run Facebook ads for you. We'll generate leads through social media for you. And that's all they had to do with their marketing to really scale. That's pretty much it. So stage 2 is essentially when you get competition entering the market, and all you need to do is sort of outbid them and show that you actually have proof of this and you can back up your claim. So if a competitor says we'll generate you 20 sales calls per month, so this is for B2B lead generation specifically, you can say we'll do more than that. We'll generate 40 calls in the same amount of time, and we can do this because of XYZ. Here's our track record. Level 3 is, again, markets become a little bit more jaded now, a little bit more used to these claims. So if you just simply say, oh, we'll do 60 calls, 80 calls, then they sort of like don't believe you, and it's kind of that number specifically means less to them. So what you need to do is introduce something called a unique mechanism. And this is really just a clear point of differentiation. It has to be unique. It has to genuinely be unique, and it has to be new, such that you essentially bypass the prospect's sort of monkey brain or lizard brain, where they sort of automatically match, okay, this stimulus, I've seen this before on an ad or a piece of outreach, I'm automatically going to ignore this. Whereas if you actually pitch them something new and novel, they will sort of tend to believe you because it's actually new. Oh, well, maybe last time it didn't work because of XYZ, but with this new method, it actually will work. So an example would be, we'll generate you 20 sales calls per month using insert method, cold email, mass Facebook DMs, etc., etc. So if a prospect, for example, says, yeah, I tried LinkedIn outreach and it didn't work for me. Okay, but have you tried sending 1,000 Facebook DMs per day? Oh, okay, I haven't. Well, maybe that's why. Let's try this. And then your whole marketing kind of message would be around, okay, why this is a superior method, and this is your unique mechanism, and this is why it works. This is, proof of how it's been done, etc., etc. Now, number 4 is where you basically elaborate on the mechanism even further. They're getting a little bit more sport for choice now. We're entering a level 4 level of market sophistication. You need to be as easily distinguishable as superior, essentially. Now, there's a lot of things that come into this. There's obviously track record and social proof, and there's content marketing. You just need to be firing harder on all fronts, essentially. But again, you need to essentially stay ahead of the curve in terms of your unique mechanism. So, for example, a really good example of a unique mechanism right now is AI. AI is a novel, unique mechanism as opposed to, let's say, cold email, which was relatively novel in 2021 and 2022. Less so the case now, because there's a lot more agencies that know how to do cold email to varying levels of competence, but still it's a much more commoditized service than it used to be. So now you sort of actually need to say, okay, why is my cold email system better? Why is my ad system better? Why is my system better? How does it differentiate, and why is it so much better than the competition? So you need this, and this is something that we emphasize for all clients. Every single client, before we run ads for them and book appointments for them, they need a unique differentiation mechanism. Now, it doesn't have to be truly unique and novel, but we spin it in a way that is unique, because most service-based businesses, they have something going for them. They have something that differentiates them, whether that's the founder, whether that's the in-house sort of expertise, whether it's their background, their sort of maybe they do have a specific a capability in-house to differentiate themselves. Whatever it might be, everyone has a unique point of differentiation that can be leveraged, and this is critical in a stage 4 and 5 level of sophistication. Remember, we said pretty much all agency services are now at a level 4 or 5 unless you've really got a unique service, like something that's truly novel. And here's some more insight within the marketing agency space. So a lot of people now are switching to their marketing positioning to sell infrastructures or systems. And really, it's a positioning play. This is no different from actually selling a normal marketing service. What they're doing is they're value stacking, so they're closing the gap as they should be, as we've discussed in this video. And they're sort of saying, I will build you a cold email system in-house, for example. I'll build you a done-for-you content system into your business, and I'll install it into your business, a YouTube ad system into your business. This is a positioning play. It's a marketing tactic that works very well for a stage 4 level of sophistication and it fares better. So that's why people are doing it. And like I said, most marketing agency surveys, remember, are at least at a stage 4 level of sophistication, right? So like I said, all clients must have, I'm speaking about the clients that we take on, must have a unique mechanism, and we work with you to engineer that, as I said. Another good one is AI chatbots. Anything related to AI basically is something that you need to integrate into your service. We help you do this just because it's really, I've seen this double click-through rate, double response rate on cold outreach. It's that powerful. And stage 5, really, now we're getting into a little bit of a difficult situation. It's not that things can't work. It's just that you have to be better. It just means it's harder now to scale compared to back a few years ago, if you are still doing the same things. Excuse me. So you can absolutely still book a ton of appointments. You just need to be a little bit more smart, as I said. And there are a couple of things, like I said, that are high leverage activities to work on. One of them is content marketing. Content marketing is becoming less and less optional. What you need to focus on is being known in your industry. Now, I'm not talking about being locally known, although that does help. I'm talking about putting yourself out on the internet, building a brand, producing, YouTube videos, email newsletter, getting on, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, whichever is, your choice of platform. I recommend typically one short form platform, one long form, which is pretty much YouTube basically. And the reason for that is when you combine content marketing with ads and with outreach, that's when you start to really get really, really good results. The results that you get from ads is really significantly more when you have content also in your overall marketing system, because it just increases the efficiency, right? So paid media increases the efficiency of organic owned media and vice versa. The other way is, of course, to introduce more of an indirect approach to your ad funnel, right? So we have direct offers and direct funnels versus indirect funnels and indirect offers. And you want to implement this as well into your overall marketing strategy. But we still always recommend starting with direct first, because it's just way more simple. You're targeting the most aware segment of the market. You're getting appointments booked in that are higher intent and far shorter sales cycle. So what you want to do if you're trying to scale is start direct, collect cash, and then as you scale, you can progress towards running more indirect campaigns. So a typical kind of ad call out for a stage 5 level of sophistication would be, coaches and consultants or marketing agencies that are tired of seeing these massive guarantee, we guarantee X, Y, Z, or you don't pay type of ads. Here's what we'll do. We'll build you a complete marketing infrastructure that actually works within X time frame, and you direct them, for example, to a more indirect VSL, longer webinar training. You'd place more of an emphasis on content marketing. You'll place more of an emphasis on nurturing them through email newsletters and kind of marketing and sales assets, and that's how you would basically do all of that. So that's in a nutshell, that's pretty much it, guys. I might as well go through this as well. So my point around organic media increasing the efficiency of paid media and outbound, it's something that is now, like I said, encouraged for all service-based businesses to basically get on the internet and start posting content. Obviously, that's what I'm trying to do myself as well, and that's because it really matters. All the best sales calls that I've had, the most qualified high-intent prospects, they've all checked out my YouTube content pretty much, and they have all watched the at least an hour or two of my training that I've put out on the internet, whether that's on Twitter or LinkedIn or YouTube or my home website. Now, like I said, to maximize results in stage 4 and 5 level sophistication, you need to be producing content as well as running ads. You can't just rely on one method of acquisition. Okay, you need to be building out a complete marketing infrastructure. Like I said, we specialize on a done for you basis on running ads and cold outreach, but we help you with everything else, whatever it's required to actually get results, which is, like I said, what I'm covering in this video. So, for example, we're sending 5,000 cold emails per day for my own agency. And if you're doing this, you can see how gaining impressions on your organic content is very, very important, right? Basically, it's the outbound machine feeding into the inbound machine and vice versa. And like I said, a good way to do this of building a brand, if you don't have funding, if you're not venture backed, etc., is to build your own brand as the founder of the company first, and then your company brand will grow as a proxy to that, right? Why? Because people relate to faces more than institutions. Very easy way to bootstrap and scale service-based business to 8 figures and beyond. Grow a brand and start posting content, put your face out there. And like I said, you essentially need to become known in your industry, not just locally, but put your face out on the internet. When you run ads, and specifically, for example, retargeting ads, you will become automatically a micro celebrity because people actually recognize your face. They'll even recognize UGC actors that you might be using in your ads. And the end game of scaling a B2B service-based business is particularly in a more noisy niche, for example, if you want to get to 10 million and above, is you're always going to have to rely heavily on content marketing assisting your ads. And like I said, we do the ads and completely done for you, and the lead generation and appointment booking done for you, but we always help and advise and consult on all of these processes. It doesn't take that much time either, right? Because B2B, people want value, people want, unedited content that's more presentation based versus the kind of shiny fancy edits. Of course, it depends on your target market. If you're a coach or consultant and you're targeting a different target market that isn't B2B, if you're B2C, then obviously this is not as relevant, but content marketing still, of course, massively important, and personal brand massively important. But I just want to finish up here with saying, do not make the mistake of thinking branding alone will get you there, because it won't. You need to be running outbound, you need to be running ads, and this complete marketing funnel is essentially how you scale to the multi 7 figures in a sophisticated market, stage 4 and 5, like I've said here on this document and in this training. So price stack, value stack, premium pricing, take into account market sophistication levels, post content, run ads, and build out a more complete marketing infrastructure. That's how you scale in 2024, right? But it all comes down to this first. You need to be selling something that is as valuable as it can be to your target market.